It's the largest and most comprehensive training event of the year for the Canadian Army. And this year, more than 5,000 troops from across the Canadian Armed Forces and 5 different allied forces took part. Maple Resolve is the culminating event for Canada's High Readiness Forces. And as Ecole explains, it's preparing the Ontario-based 2nd Canadian Mechanized Brigade Group, also known as Task Force Tomahawk, for battle.
These soldiers are trying to restore the international border of Ethiopia, but you won't find that country on a map. This is a simulated environment, the goal being to replicate the realities of deployment.
This is sort of for generic warfare training, and it pertains to offensive operations, so attacking things, defensive operations, so defending things, whether it's defending ourselves or terrain or towns. We're able to incorporate a number of civilian interactors that play individuals as if it was their sort of town, their village, their part of the world.
Villages like this one, where in this scenario the soldiers are trying to build relations with the population.
We call that the Civil Military Cooperation Group. So they come here and they do the assessment. If they can build relation with the key player, and after that prepare a future meeting with commander, religious leader.
We're pushing past the trenches! Solid in on the hill!
But this exercise is comprised of a combination of different operations and objectives, immersing the soldiers in dynamic force-on-force scenarios. It also has what's called a weapons effect simulation system, which is mounted on the soldiers, on their weapons, and on their vehicles, tracking every participant.
It gives the soldiers actually a real type of environment that they would face without actually using real bullets. And then it forces the soldiers and the vehicles, if they're hit or taken a casualty, that they have to go through their necessary procedures to take care of their wounded, to extract damaged vehicles.
For the past week, Major Mike Miller has played the role of the enemy. But he says whether you're on the Blue Force or the opposition, collective training events like this are vital.
It's very realistic. The orders you get, the picture that's painted out there, you bring your troops, everyone's focused on the objective. Really, it replicates, a host of different types of environments that you could be operating in. So I think it's a great venue, it's a great training area.
Reflecting on lessons learned, also an important part of the exercise.
After they've done certain tasks, we'll sit down with them and say, this is what you did well, this is what you did good, this is where you need to improve.
After this, Task Force Tomahawk will return to Petawawa and, as of July 1st, become the High Readiness Forces for Canada and the Canadian Army. Maple Resolve has cost the government $30 million, an investment officials say is well worth it.
I can guarantee you that Canadians across the country will be very proud of this High Readiness Force once they're certified at the end of this exercise.
Exercise Maple Resolve wraps up May 29th. Reporting from CFB Wainwright, Nicole Stilger, Newcap News.
Well, collection on property taxes has begun in Lloydminster, and the deadline to pay up is getting closer. Payments are due by June 30th, after which a 1% penalty will be tacked on monthly. Property tax values are up about 4% from last year. The city's Director of Business Services, Lisa Buchan, says these funds take care of many city projects.
So a lot of this funds will go to support recreation, infrastructure renewal, maintenance, through to administration. It really accounts for approximately 29% of the funds utilized to operate within the city.
Payments can be made online, in person at City Hall through cash, check, debit, or credit, or after hours through the mail slot. If you haven't received your notice by June 9th, you are advised to contact City Hall. The Lloydminster area is full of talented athletes. This is our first Newcap Sports Athlete of the Week, and we're featuring an individual who has recently been selected to a national team and believes that teamwork is the only way to get things done. Brittany Matika has more.
Elena Scramstad is a grade 12 student at Lashburn High School. She is constantly changing her jersey with the season. Basketball, volleyball, hockey, badminton, track and field, and gymnastics. And her most recent athletic achievement is being named to Rugby Canada's women's U18 team.
It was scary. I was the only one from Saskatchewan, so it was kind of out of my comfort zone, but I still had friends from Alberta since I play there nationally with the Alberta squad. So I still had friends, but it was definitely special to be selected as the only Saskatchewan player.
You know, on the basketball court, she's, you know, obviously one of our most talented players, but she's always looking to pass the ball. She's always looking to make other players better. She thinks of herself last. On the rugby pitch, she's much the same. She's a team first player and you know, a dominant athlete, but very humble. She's strong, she's quick, and she's probably the kind of kid that anytime she plays, you know, picks up a new sports implement, she can just figure it out.
Canada will be hosting the United States for an international competition this summer.
We go to Ottawa, so we come a week early and practice. They send us stuff to work on, like at home, because we're never practiced together until we actually go down. So it's all training on your own, so you have to find a way to push yourself. I think we're going to be pretty good against them, yeah. We'll have an even matchup, I think. We got a talented group of girls, that's for sure.
Skramstad pulls skills from other sports into her rugby game, including gymnastics.
Flexibility and just the stamina you need to be like. The training for gymnastics was like 6 hours a day, and it was a very tough sport.
Currently playing for the Lashburn women's team, Skramstad is able to lend her experience to the team.
Yeah, we really rely on her leadership to bring up the younger players and just to give them an example of just the passion and commitment you need to excel. She works really hard at it. She travels to Red Deer a couple times a week during the provincials, and I think her work ethic is probably her best strength.
Great kid, great personality, always smiling. It's tough to find her, you know, not in a good mood. So, yeah, she just brings good chemistry to whatever team she plays on, and she's a catalyst for everybody else being better.
Skramstad admires one of Canada's top women's rugby players.
Jen Kish. She's the captain of the Sevens national team. She's amazing. She's just got a positive attitude and just works magic with the ball. She's an amazing athlete.
In the fall, Skramstad has committed to playing rugby for UBC.
Yeah, I'm in the dental hygiene degree program, so that's going to be challenging. So the coach there, if you fall behind your schooling, then they have to provide you with a tutor. So I think that would be very helpful.
Brittany Matika, Newcap Sports.
Students from Holy Rosary and St. Thomas returned to school yesterday following a threat made last week. The two schools were shut down on Friday as RCMP investigated a threat to staff and students at Holy Rosary High School. Monday, the LCSD released a statement saying they take these threats very seriously and the schools were closed as a precaution. They also thanked the city of Lloydminster and Mayor Albers for their support. Classes resumed yesterday morning with a police presence as they continue their investigation. There are 3 animals featured in this week's pet project. Red and Cupid are 3-month-old mischievous kittens, and Doyle is a 2-year-old mixed breed pup who loves to play. Here's Morgan from the SPCA.
With the arrival of spring, we also see the arrival of kittens here at the shelter. Red and Cupid are just 2 of these adorable kittens we have available for adoption. These 2 handsome boys are from the same litter and are just 3 months old. Cupid and Red love to rumble and tumble around with toys and each other. Of course, being that they're still pretty young, it's not long until they're both tuckered out and ready for a nap. If you're looking for a wonderful new addition to the family, stop by the shelter or one of our off-site adoption centers, PetSmart and Pet Value, to see the wonderful kittens we have just waiting to find that place to call home. This goofy guy is Doyle. Doyle is a 2-year-old mixed breed just ready for fun and adventure. Doyle would make a great partner whether you run, bike, or just enjoy getting out and hitting the trails. With all his energy, he'll have no problem tagging along and keeping up with a busy lifestyle. Doyle may also enjoy a fellow friend to play with in his new home. However, a meet and greet should be done just to ensure compatibility first. If you're looking for a companion to keep up with your busy lifestyle, then stop by the shelter and meet Doyle today.